Straight ahead on 12 News, high schoolers get a lesson on relationships.
I think it's important for us to bring to the table what is abuse versus what's not abuse.
Then, on this Valentine's Day, couples in Brooklyn Park celebrate a long-time tradition. But first,
I mean, we're talking 20, 30 years, we haven't seen this many frozen lines.
a big problem gets even bigger. 12 News starts right now. More than a dozen homeowners in Brooklyn Park have been without water for days.
As Sonia Goen shows us, it could be a while before that water is running again.
It's an extreme situation. It's an unseen natural disaster.
15 Brooklyn Park homeowners haven't been able to do this or this for days.
Some residents that are on our list have been without water for probably about 5 days.
The problem stems from frozen pipes.
It's been a tough, long winter.
44 days of sub-zero temperatures have done a lot of damage.
We're talking 20, 30 years, we haven't seen this many frozen lines.
Here's where the problem starts.
The 6-inch water main, and then going to each house, you have a 1-inch service line, and so it's this 1-inch service line that's freezing. Once it freezes, then the freeze will spread further out in the pipe, making it more difficult to unthaw.
Brooklyn Park operations crews can fix some frozen pipes.
We have a certain flushing machine that we can put inside the service line and run hot water and flush it.
But other frozen pipes may require a special welder.
They'll hook up their DC welder to this to clear the line.
Sterling Welding Company in North Minneapolis contracts with the city of Brooklyn Park. They told us they've been busy working 80 hours a week.
Their schedule can be 1 to 2 weeks out. We've been fortunate to have this welder here twice already, and we're optimistic that we'll get him back here in the next day or two.
Now, if you want to avoid frozen pipes, experts recommend running a slow trickle of water in a sink to keep the water moving so the pipes won't freeze.
Who wants to be without water? You know, everything we do is surrounded about power and water.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
And even if the temperatures rise above freezing, it will take a while for the ground to thaw, so pipe problems could last for some time. Meanwhile, Brooklyn Park officials are handing out bottled water to residents with frozen pipes.
The two men accused of leading police on a wrong-way high-speed chase are from the Northwest Metro. Ryan Wohler of Brooklyn Center and Aaron Martin of Golden Valley are being held in the Sherburne County Jail. They were arrested Thursday after police say they were involved in a home invasion robbery in Elk River. They're also accused of leading police on a chase that included going the wrong way on I-94.
Fast action by staff at Prairie Seeds Academy may have averted a tragedy this week. Police say a suicidal 14-year-old was on campus with a gun. When staff learned of it, they intervened and safely got the gun away from the youth. Police say he had no intent of hurting anyone but himself, and they say he may have gotten the gun from home. Government survey shows more than 9% of high school students have been physically abused by their significant other in the past year.
Brooklyn Center high school teachers used Valentine's Day to send a message about the difference between healthy and unhealthy relationships. Delane Cleveland has more.
What does love mean? Love is whatever you define that as. And that's what we'll be asking our students to do today, is like really think about those things. Let's talk about love.
High school is typically the age when people begin dating, and dating doesn't come with an instruction manual.
Like, we don't know a lot of the rules. Like, we're teenagers, we're impulsive, you know, we get angry fast, we get sad fast.
Do you intervene? Or do you not intervene?
Brooklyn Center junior Isabella Annan hasn't entered the dating game just yet.
No, my parents don't want me to date yet, so.
Which is exactly why a group of teachers and counselors wanted to reach out to students.
Whether it's verbal abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, or some type of emotional, that's becoming more common.
So on this Valentine's Day,
I know that a lot of things go on Twitter.
The objective is to teach every student at Brooklyn Center High School about healthy and unhealthy relationships.
If you are in a relationship and you and your partner yell a lot, do you consider that emotional abuse?
The speakers pose various questions.
Agree? Disagree.
Then the students move to a specific side of the room.
So what turns it into emotional abuse?
Depending on how they feel.
You have to make a decision even though most of you are not going to want to.
Next, they discuss.
When they really start yelling at each other, when it's like, wah, when they start freaking out over each other.
Ultimately, the idea is for students to be aware of the do's and don'ts in a relationship.
Let's flip it around. What if the girl cheated on the guy and he slaps her? Is that physical abuse?
The exercise is just the start of a lifelong lesson.
It's like helping people think about some things that we usually don't think about at this age.
In Brooklyn Center, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
This is the first time Brooklyn Center High School has put together an event on teen dating violence. Organizers hope it will become an annual program.
The Anoka-Hennepin School District has named 3 finalists to become its next superintendent. They are David Law, the Assistant Superintendent of White Bear Lake Schools, Michelle Langenfeld, the Superintendent of Green Bay, Wisconsin Public Schools, and Jeffrey McGonigal, who is currently the Associate Superintendent for High Schools in the Anoka-Hennepin District. McGonigal is also a former Cooper High School principal. The 3 finalists begin interviews on Tuesday. What better way to celebrate love on Valentine's Day than by tying the knot?
Marriage represents a commitment to a shared life based on love, respect, and understanding.
In honor of Valentine's Day, Hennepin County judges married 47 couples for free at the Government Center in downtown Minneapolis. Even the music was performed by judges and attorneys. Delana Downs and John Jasper of Plymouth were one of the 5 Northwest Metro couples who got hitched. They now have an anniversary date that should be easy to remember.
Yes, it's, you know, I got a little precursor of hearts and cupids, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's my anniversary going up. So.
The couple is headed to Mexico for their honeymoon. This is the 2nd year in a row Hennepin County has held free Valentine's Day weddings, and we were down there. The judges did a lovely job. Lovely
Beautiful
ceremony. Coming up, a true heartfelt pizza.
We'll show you a Brooklyn Park Valentine's tradition that's all about the pie. And then later in sports, a repeat championship for a local Nordic ski team. We'll have the highlights.
But first, it's heating up. This weekend we reach the 20s, next week 30s, and possibly 40s.
If you've ever considered a career in computer science or software development, you may want to consider attending Tech Fest at North Hennepin Community College. Representatives from Twin Cities tech companies will be there to speak and show their latest projects.
So we're going to have movies and video games and demonstrations of high-tech products, but at the same time we're going to be having booths of business people and education people that will answer questions about careers in those fields.
One of the top 4 Tetris masters in the world, Ben Mullen, will be on hand to challenge your Tetris skills. Tech Fest is Tuesday from 5:30 to 10 at the Center for Business and Technology. Not everyone is planning a Valentine's dinner with candlelight and roses.
There are more options out there to celebrate love, and as Shannon Slatton shows us, it's still served up in the shape of a heart.
Thank you for calling Rocky Rococo. Would you like to try a heart-shaped pizza today?
As the calls come in,
What time tonight?
it doesn't take long to notice.
We've been taking orders all week.
Feeding the appetite of love in Brooklyn Park
It's in a heart, and you get the free heart balloon.
must be served in the shape of a heart.
Gotta get the heart-shaped pizza.
For some, Rocky Rococo's heart-shaped pizza is a tradition of coworker love and appreciation.
It's what we get.
For others, it's fun for the family.
For my kids, traditional. Every year, a heart-shaped pizza.
Still, for many couples,
we've been coming, I think, for 30 years, haven't we? Or 20, 25, 30
Something
years.
like that.
Valentine's Day wouldn't be complete without this sweet heart.
It's our tradition for Valentine's Day. They have great pizza, and it's in the shape of a heart, so why not come?
Heart-shaped pizzas have been promoted all week, but on the 14th,
Today for us is the busiest day of the year. It's crazy busy.
it's all hands on deck.
You work Valentine's, everybody works, nobody gets it off.
On a normal Friday, Rocky's makes up about 85 pizzas. On Valentine's Day,
Do upwards about 300 heart-shaped pizzas.
which isn't counting other pies.
They'll get family meals, they'll get large pizzas, if you have a big family, a heart shape only feeds 2 to 3, so a lot of people will get a heart shape for the novelty of it, and then they buy a couple of large pizzas on the side too.
We grew up with Rocky Rococo's pizza, so it's kind of that, back to when we were kids.
The question of where to go on a day when love is celebrated
It's Valentine's Day, I need a place to take my wife.
is answered in Brooklyn Park with a resounding
They got a heart-shaped pizza.
true love of pizza.
Okay, what time would you like one?
In Brooklyn Park, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Besides Rocky Rococo's, you can also find heart-shaped pizzas at Devani's and Papa Murphy's. I grew up in Wisconsin, plenty of Rockies there, so I'm well familiar with that tradition. Coming up, something you may want to add to your weekend calendar.
It's a musical in Maple Grove adapted from a classic tale. But first in sports, local gymnastics team claims its first ever section title. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back. A very busy couple of days up at Giants Ridge for local skiers, and fortunately the weather looked like it was better than it has been. I mean, it could have been really cold.
It wasn't really cold, but they had some snow overnight Wednesday into Thursday, made the conditions a little tough for skiing, but not so bad weather-wise, or temperature-wise, I should say. Just about every school we cover here on Channel 12 had at least one athlete competing at the state Nordic ski meet. The area was well represented on the medal stand, too. Armstrong's John Delaney starts the classic race in third place after a good skate race. Bloomington Jefferson's Zach Ketterson rolls to a win in a total time of 32 minutes, 52.7 seconds to win the boys' individual pursuit title. Delaney loses a little ground in the second race, but still finishes 7th overall to lead the local boys. Then it's the girls' turn to race. Wayzata's Elena Soneson starts 5th, and her teammate Anna French 6th. Maddie Watts of Irondale holds off Vivian Het of Burnsville to take the girls' title. Soneson takes 3rd place, and not far behind her is French in 5th. As the Trojans repeat as team state champions with 4 of the top 13 finishers in all. Armstrong's Hannah Rudd is 9th, helping her team to a runner-up finish. Here's what Soneson had to say after her final high school race.
I am so happy about my race and the team's race. We were so happy for each other. It was some tough conditions out there this morning with all the fresh snow, but we worked through it, and we worked together. And
well, more local reaction on our Sports Jam show starting Tuesday here on Channel 12. Wayzata races to its 2nd straight girls team title with Plymouth neighbor Armstrong edging Stillwater by 1 point for 2nd place. Wayzata's boys place 6th. Forest Lake is the team champion, followed by St. Louis Park and Duluth East. In gymnastics, this week's section meets are the final competitions before next weekend's state meet at the University of Minnesota. What a night it was for the Champlin Park team in Section 5 AA competition Thursday. This is sophomore Taylor Gakeen, who lands a score of 9.5 and finishes 3rd on the balance beam. Her teammate Liz Hammond finishes 2nd on the uneven bars. She scores a 9.125. Both girls are headed to state, as is the Rebels team, which scored a school record 142.725 points to win. Well, much more on the Section 5 AA meet Tuesday on Sports Jam. In girls hockey, Breck and Blake met again this year for the Section 5A championship. The Mustangs looking for an upset of the Bears in the section final. First period, no score until Blake's Carly Bullock beats Jenna Brenneman high to give the Bears the lead. Down 2-0, Breck gets on the board. Izzy Gleekel's shot is tipped in by Grace Sumwinkle to get the Mustangs within 1. Blake scores again to make it 3-1 with just over a minute left in the period. Leah Schwartzman gets the shot in, and the Mustangs are down 1, 3-2. Second period, they tie it up. Schwartzman's shot is stopped. Zumwinkle gets 2 chances, scores on the second try, and it's a 2-2 game. Blake answers. On the rush, Jordan Chancellor's shot is stopped. Sarah Shute, they're all alone for the rebound. The Bears are up 4-3 after 2. Third period, this back and forth game continues. Schwartzman beats Anna Krusel, and it's tied at 4. With just under 6 minutes to play, Bullock finds Sylvie Wallen, who beats the goalie, and it's her 2nd goal of the game. Blake adds an empty netter, and they knock off Breck 6-4. And they are headed back to state to defend their title. Spots in the team portion of the state wrestling tournament are on the line for area teams this weekend. Maple Grove is the host for the Section 5-3A team tournament. The Crimson come in as the number 3 seed behind Rogers and Centennial. Maple Grove's just over the 500 mark overall in the season that's had its ups and downs. They'll get a chance to wrestle in their home gym in a section that doesn't have a dominant team.
It's very competitive this year. It's going to be very competitive. There isn't just that one team that stands out.
I mean, we're underdogs. We're the 3rd seed, but we believe that we can do it. We just got to wrestle our hardest.
I'm sure that Rogers and Centennial are definitely planning on going to state. You know, we're the 3rd seed. We're definitely the underdog. And then the 4th and 5th seed, Osseo and Mounds View, I'm sure that they're planning on winning a couple of rounds and seeing if they can make things happen too. So top 5 teams, I'm sure, are hoping that they're going to be the top team standing on Saturday.
First round action starts at 10 o'clock Saturday morning in Section 5-3A, wrapping up with the championship at 3 p.m. Wayzata hosts the Section 3A tournament Saturday, while Benilde hosts the Section 5AA tournament tonight, Friday. Busy weekend for Section playoffs in a lot of different sports.
Thanks a lot, John.
Yeah.
Coming up, a Maple Grove church is host to a brand new production.
We'll raise the curtain on a literary classic when we come back. A literary classic is coming to life this weekend on a big stage.
Cross Community Players is debuting its latest musical, Anne of Green Gables, at a Maple Grove church. Reporter Cassie Bonstrom has more in Weekend Showcase.
She's a character most avid readers fell in love with in the first few chapters.
Am I talking too much?
Now Maureen O'Malley is bringing the charming Anne Shirley to life in a musical adaptation of the classic book Anne of Green Gables.
The best thing about her is that she just has no filter. She just, whatever comes to her mind, be it rage, imagination, happiness, she just goes for it.
The beloved story begins with Matthew and Marilla Cuthbert announcing they're taking in a boy to help on the family farm.
We're getting a little orphan boy from that orphanage in Nova Scotia.
Much to their surprise, Anne Shirley arrives instead.
Where's the boy?
The Cuthberts decide to let her into their home, but Anne must find a way into their heart.
It's a good show for anybody who enjoys to laugh and likes to listen to delightful music.
Cross Community Players brings actors from all over the metro together for its productions.
And I've never gotten to work with a cast before that's such a diverse group of ages and experiences, which is really, really fun.
Many jumped at the opportunity to be a part of such a classic story and pulled from their own experiences and personalities to build their characters.
Marilla is not unlike my older relatives. A stern woman, a farm woman, and she doesn't take any nonsense from anyone.
It's a story they hope resonates with the audience and a show they hope makes everyone smile.
It's really suitable for everyone, which is a nice thing about Cross, is that their musicals are always family friendly and just perfect for anybody who just needs a nice little escape from the cold winter.
In Maple Grove, I'm Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News.
Anne of Green Gables, the musical, opens tomorrow and runs through March 2nd at the Crosswoods United Methodist Church in Maple Grove. You can go to our website, 12.tv, for more information about tickets and showtimes. And that does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Have a great weekend, everyone.